where I was saying how thingy. Yeah, that's fine. If you even say that you're following it because I highlighted his stream, that'd be great. Because then he might follow me in return, or he might plug me in return. But yeah, the mechanics and the coding that are going to go behind atmospheric planets, or atmosphere planets that are populated with cities and stuff on them, it's going to be horrendous, and that's not something I really envy Frontier as a developer and as a sort of part-time dabbler in the games and OpenGL procedural stuff. It befuddles me how it'd be done. I know it's possible because I've seen procedurally generated cities that look absolutely spectacular, with traffic lights, tower buildings, lights that go on and off, day and night modes, and all that sort of stuff. And it's not even that big a bit of code. You're talking a couple. Oh, pardon me. Good God, I dropped the coffee a bit quick there. And that's just a couple of mega code, and that's nothing. It doesn't take up any memory, and it'll run pretty much on any machine. Doesn't even need to have proper graphics card. Just onboard Intel graphics card could render that quite well. If you do a search procedural generated city, and you can have a look on YouTube for that, and you'll find loads of different examples of it. So the architecture's there, it is doable, eminently doable, but it's how to do it and make it consistent, and make sure that it doesn't overstress computers. Because making one city is fair enough, but making a number of cities that as you're flying over a planet, you're going to fly over these cities, is a different kettle of fish. Obviously you're going to have your same pseudo-random, perhaps Fibonacci style seed for each planet, which will remain static, and then that'll be what creates the layout of the planet below. Will they be able to keep that in sync with what the current map is for the planets, is one thing that would need to be answered. Because obviously they've mapped the day and night side of planets so that when a side of a populated planet is in darkness, you can see the street lights or the lights on that planet. And it's interesting because it's yellow, because obviously they're still using sodium lamps in the 31st or 33rd century, whatever century it is, 34th century by this point, isn't it? So that's interesting that it's still yellow. Whether that's some kind of Doppler shift, or whether it is actually the fact that the lights are yellow, because the only reason the lights are yellow on Earth is because we use sodium lights. But we're starting to move towards white lights in some places now, so I don't know if it would make any difference visibly from space with what the colour was. But yeah, so can they make is the current map for these planets procedurally generated, and will that then forward on to the seed for making the procedurally generated cities on top of that map? That remains to be seen. But as I say, that is a lot of work. It's going to be a hell of a lot of rendering, and they have to make sure they put features in there, because if they want it to look realistic or at least immersive, then they have to have a variety of different things on there, not just have a whole lot of nondescript random buildings, but actually have seeds in there that say generate a hospital or a spaceport or even an airport or even traffic, air traffic, sea traffic, all that sort of stuff's got to go in there. And then you've got people. How the hell are you going to manage people? So if you're going to get onto a level where you're landing on the planet, going into a spaceport, what's that spaceport going to have in it? Is it going to have a bar in it? Is it going to have different stuff in it? Is it going to have a shop where you can go and buy shit and take it onto your ship? Who knows how far it's going to go? One of the things that they've announced with Horizons has been crafting. So tools and crafting are going to be part of the game come Horizons. Does that mean that you can create objects? Does that mean you can create items that you can sell? What sort of items? Can you craft items? Obviously you go and buy bits and pieces of cargo to put in your ship, but is the crafting thing just the case that you can buy cargo, different sorts of cargo from the marketplaces, and then use those bits of cargo to create a different sort of cargo? Or is it going to be something a little more detailed than that? Or again, the way that Frontier seems to be working this, is it going to be something that's going to be tiered? So you will start it, all they're doing is creating the framework and populating it with the top level, which will be you can buy painite, or you can buy atmospheric processors and painite and then create something else. and then that same functionality would then be cascaded down into personal items. So when it gets to the point you can get out your ship and wander about on the planet's surface or on a spaceport or something, could you then go to a shop and say, I want to buy such and such, and then make such and such? Could you go and buy a gun? Or could you go and buy a battery and a torch and put them together and have a flashlight? Or whatever, I don't know, I'm making things up the top of my head here. But how detailed is it going to be? That all needs to get thought of up front. So they need to be able to drill that down from what we see in space, little dots of yellow light on a planet's surface. They then need to be able to extrapolate from that what these cities are going to look like, where everything's going to be. Will you be able to walk out of your ship onto a planet, out of the spaceport, into the street, and find a pub, or find a shop, or find a restaurant? Will you have to eat food in order not to die? Will you have to sleep? These are all the things that we're all kind of... A lot of us want this sort of stuff in the game, but we do understand the fact that this is primarily a space sim. So, does everybody want this whole... Does everybody want this whole FPS element? The planetary landings thing already, as I was whinging about before people actually joined in all of me thread, people are whinging about the fact that the planetary landings thing is not the core Elite game that they wanted to buy. Well, we know it's not. We bought the core game. The core game has been out for a year. That is Elite. We have Elite. We have our sequel to Elite sitting in front of us playing it now. Horizons is going to take that core game and expand it into essentially a new game. We'll still have the original core game. You don't have to play the bits you don't want to play. You don't have to go into planetary cruise mode and jump down on the surface and land and drive around. And then obviously as the future expansions come along, you don't have to come along and buy the city expansions or the FPS expansion or the get out of my ship and wander about expansion. You don't have to buy any of that stuff. But if you do buy it, you're going to be buying something that is going to be immense. You're talking about having loads of different systems all together. Okay, let's just see how far apart these are. Yeah, not bad actually. I'll give them a scan. Why not? Yeah, so all that has to get thought of at this stage. So before they start bringing in how planetary landing on populated planets is going to work, they need to drill it down as far as they can possibly drill it down. They may not add the content in the next update, they may only add part of it. They only may add the fact that you can get onto a planetary surface, dock at a starport, and sit in your ship and look at the starport, the same as you do in a space station. But you will be flying over each planet. You'll be flying over a planet and looking at what the scenery looks like. And people playing this sort of game will go out there and they will land on a planet, or they will want to fly down the streets, blah blah blah. Or are they going to introduce the concept of airspace? You see, it's all different. So you see, there's so many different layers that they have to think about, because one of the true things about any online game or any multiplayer game, where you allow people a degree of freedom, is that those players will push the boundaries of that freedom. They will push whatever they can push to expand the functionality of the game and take it in the direction that they want to take it. So they will always come up with something that you've not thought of, and that is rule one of developing games like this. So they have to cater for that kind of aspect. People are going to fly over a city and then want to fly down the city streets, or fly to the neighbouring cities, or follow the roads around, or look at what the scope is immense. So I think that there's going to be a bit of a delay, and it's going to be a long time coming. I think I probably would look at a couple of years. So I would say we're looking at 2017, mid 2017 to 2018, I would say, before we actually get to land on planets that are populated, unless they have a lot of that groundwork done already. Because ultimately, I suppose, it's procedurally generated. Like bombarding Slough Central with radioactive waste. Indeed. Indeed. I can see it happening. I don't think it'll take that long for us to get to that point, really. Engage jump drive.
Jumping!
Yeah, one of the things I did say before was, again, to repeat myself again, was that I think that given the fact that Frontier have announced a time frame for bringing out this this expansion, that a good deal of the work has probably already been done. If they're not actually ready to bring it out for beta testing right now, in the condition it's in, then they must be very, very close, I would say. So maybe it's not going to take all that long. I don't know. Maybe it won't take as long as I'm thinking to get to the point of planetary landings on populated planets, because if the framework's already there, maybe the framework that brings this along. Don't think it's really worth it, do you? Already explored and nothing of note. Engage jump drive.
Friendship drive engaging.
I've just noticed I've gone past my stream time. 2 hours 12. Oops. Oh well, I'm not complaining, I'm enjoying myself. So yeah, I think that's about it as far as my Horizons impressions are concerned. I think framework's going to be there. I think the framework for building on planetary landings is going to be in place. I just think it's going to take a while to get the logic of how each planet's going to work. I mean, are they going to put in as much detail as they said they were going to put in as regards to things like cities and how they look and sort of infrastructure, I suppose, for each planet. Things like Imperial worlds having a particular design. This was in a couple of the newsletters during the original Kickstarter when they were first developing the game, was that they were looking at the different architectural styles of each culture. So the Imperial culture was very organised with, I think, did they have round architecture? Like their streets were all circular, with spokes that were in a radial type design, and the Federal was more of a sort of squares design, which follows on from their sort of American culture, where American cities always seem to have right-angled streets. Is that going to carry on? Are they going to be able to do that in the structure that they have? I think they should be able to. I can't see it being a particularly difficult thing. It's just it would just be a different style of algorithm. Yeah, thanks. Sorry, exactly. I thought the aims were circular because in my head the Federation being American based was the sort of the way they do their streets and avenues was all was all square, so they were copying that style. They basically just ripped off the Americans for the federal culture. Oh, really? Loop of shame! Yeah, Alliance was kind of random. They didn't really have a design methodology. They were just build here, it'll do. So more of a chaotic, organic expansion of their cities. Yeah, so if they can do that, that would be awesome. Because then it would keep that particular style, and that would be a quite good thing in the game. LOS equals fial. I think you want to learn how to spell fail before you actually start typing stuff. Bifford typing equals fial. I'm taking the risk this time. So what I'm doing, direction-wise, for those of you who are watching me explore, is I'm heading down in the galaxy. So I want to see how big and stuff I can make this big band of light look the further down that I go. So I'm going down towards the galactic bottom. Yes, I'm exploring bottoms. Well, no offence, Bifford, but if you're tired, go to bed. I appreciate the fact that you're watching the stream. Your custom is appreciated, and it's always awesome to have you around. But if you're tired, go to sleep. Being tired is your body's way of telling you you need to sleep. Are you getting the hint I'm trying to give you here? Sleep. Sleep is good. I was knackered before I came on this stream. Actually, I was quite shattered. My eyes were stinging and everything. I'm not gonna have a stream the same as the one I had the other week, where I was absolutely shattered during the stream and I couldn't open my eyes and they were stinging and they were hot and they were horrible. So I went and dunked my head in a sink full of cold water and then had a shower in cold water, and that woke me up. My eyes are still stinging, but they're not sore, and I'm not sleepy. It's great. I've also had a cup of coffee, which I generally tend not to do at night time because it does tend to prevent me sleeping. But this stream is quite important to me, and if I even get one viewer, then it is my duty to make the stream interesting by speaking and talking shit for an hour and a half to 2 hours, or in this case so far 2 hours and 15 minutes. And I hope you're enjoying it. Blah. Let's see if we can avoid all the shame on this one, shall I? Woohoo! Oh dear. Boogie. I need to get a new head tracker. Drift on this one's quite bad, and I know that the latest version doesn't have drift. It has got drift cancellation, and it also has the other axis. So head tilt axis works, so I must have one. I must have one. It will be mine. Slow down. Now you see. Loop of shame prevented. Loop of shame averted. That's better. I like that. Okay, bit of a hike to this one. Is that LBM or L8M? It's LBM, isn't it? Bifford has gone! He has dropped out, he is too tired, he has fallen asleep and fallen off the edge of the world. Poor old Bifford. We'll miss him. Something I like about chatty is the fact that it shows you the list of people who are logged into the chat. So I can see you people lurking there. Yes, I see you. I see you! Oh god, that other unexplored one's all the way the other side, isn't it? Aye. He's back! He was idle. Oh, I've done it again, look. Done it again! All together now. Loop of shame! Well, the more I do that, the more I think I'm starting to sound like Patrick Stewart, which is kind of worrying. Oh, see? Starting to get me now. Shut up, Bifford. Now I've got to hike all the way around the other side to get to this one. I learned something interesting the other day. I think it was on Fiery Toad's stream. These little gate posts that go up the side of the screen when you're in Super Cruise mode. I thought they were just decorative to show you that you're in Super Cruise mode. But apparently they serve a purpose. Now I don't know if this is true or not, but obviously Fiery Toad wouldn't lie. But apparently they're an indicator to show you what your actual tunnel, your travel tunnel is going to be. And if the gate posts intersect with the gravity well of another body, then it will start to slow you down. So if you can keep the other bodies in the system out of that tunnel, then you won't have any slowdown, or you won't have significant slowdown as you travel towards your destination point. So for example, if we call the sort of edge of the black region in the centre there, sort of the gravity well of a planet, if I move that to there, so the gate posts now start within the black area on the left hand side, that would mean that if that red area on the left was the gravity well of a planet or a gas giant or something, then it wouldn't slow me down as much as it would otherwise. If I was travelling straight forward like that and I hit the gravity well, then obviously it would slow me down quite a lot. So apparently keeping those gate posts out of the way of other bodies is a good way to save speed. And save time, sorry, and optimise your speed through a system. Obviously that would involve having the ring, the sort of little yellow lines that show you the orbital tracks of the planets on, because it would be easier to navigate that way. But there you go. Now if you didn't know that, I hope that's interesting information for you. I'll pay attention to my time to arrival now. Right, it's down to 6, so pull it down. There we go. Exploration, the art of letting the timer hit 6 seconds and then slow the fuck down. Good stuff. I have to say, I'm so impressed with the Diamondback Explorer as an exploration ship. It's really nice to fly. I know that I haven't actually got this kitted out to the max level that I could have it kitted out to. And it's CB4, it's not C84. All B's, aren't they? I keep calling them bloody 8s and they're not the B's. Where is it? It's over there. Right. Oh, holy crap! It's very plain, isn't it? Sorry, is that it? Haven't done the system? It certainly is. Where next? There. Engage jump drive.
Jump.
Thank you, Vasco. Big planet! Two little suns. Oh, stop it! Ba-da-ba-da-bum, ba-da-ba. I thought that's a fair hike, but shall we go for it?
Fuel scooping.
Top up the tanks while I'm around the sun, that'll do it. Right light. One thing that makes me wonder about this game, right, is I know that astronauts, spacesuits and windows on the space shuttle and stuff like that are all treated with an anti-UV or anti-radiation coating, because there's a lot of radiation in space, and if it hits the bare body of yonder astronaut, then it can cause serious problems. And obviously, hyperspacing into a system in Elite takes you right next to the star, so you're in close proximity to a star pretty much on every jump. And then of course you start the solar system and you go to other stars. Is the glass in the canopies treated in the same way? Because it doesn't seem to be tinted in any way, and it doesn't seem to be all that thick, although it's difficult to tell. It doesn't distort anything, and there isn't an obvious prismatic effect to light as you go through it, so it doesn't split up into a rainbow as it comes through the cockpit window. So it's obviously not that thick. So you don't have any refraction, is what I'm trying to say. Now, does that mean that the glass is treated in a way, obviously 33rd century alternatives to these things being as they are they treated, or are they just inherently radiation proof? And also the other issue you've got is that there are several scenarios where you can have your canopy cracked and your window actually blown out, as happened to Kate last night. She got her canopy blown out completely in a battle between herself and a capital ship. If that happens, do you then become susceptible to the stellar radiation? So if that happens to you when you're extremely close to a sun, would you then essentially cook from the inside out? These are the scientific questions that have not yet been answered as far as this game is concerned, unless they've been answered in the forum somewhere where I've not read it or not heard it. You've all gone very quiet in chat, scarily so. Well, the lurkers have all gone, apart from Insignificant Cat, who's still here. Are you still here, Cat? I thought you were only biding time till someone else came along. If that's the case and you're enjoying the stream, then thank you for hanging around. Yeah, but I said the damn wacky's floor. Oh god, sorry. Are you off then, Bifford? Awesome. Okay then, take care of yourself and I'll see you next time. Kentucky Fried Selezen, indeed. Not a pleasant prospect in anyone's book. I'm glad you're still here, Insignificant Cat then. Awesome of you to stay around. I'm obviously sending you to sleep, Arixac though, but that's probably not as good. Well, I'm thinking, how many jumps have I got left anyway? Will that take me out? That's what it'll tell me.
Closing map.
Oh, there we go. Quite a lot. A few jumps left, yeah. Ooh. Close galactic map.
Closing map.
Okay, will you go to bed? Succumb to the tiredness, Bifford. And thanks for watching, and see you next time. Take care. Yeah, I think I may call it a night after either this or the next one. I think I may do one more system after this one, and then yes, we'll call it a night at that point, because I've gone on for a little longer than I normally go on for tonight. But I am having fun. Good chat, good people, good exploring, some good system naming going on. Might be worth seeing who else is around and dogpile on them after we finish here. No, there's not a lot of us to dogpile with, but I can always give it a go. I think Riga's usually until 11, so he may just be finishing up now. I'm sure there's other people about. What that people about like? But I'll tell you something, I am going to have a extremely sore posterior region after a 24-hour stream in September, because I am in pain right now, and that's only after a couple of hours. God help me sitting in this thing for 24 hours. I'll have to find them like really, really good cushions, or stand for some of it, or find a beanbag. Do a 24-hour stream from a beanbag. How cool would that be? I'd be asleep in 5 minutes. Probably wouldn't be that cool at all. Do you know what? I'm actually hoping that come September it's going to be a bit cooler, because the weather we're having at the moment, although it's lovely to be out in it, my box office / man cave is not the best ventilated room in the house, and it does struggle when the sun comes round the front. So we're west facing in my office. So I get the sun in the afternoon, so it's one of the reasons why I'm kind of doing it from midday onwards, or midday to midday, because the hottest part of it, the most unpleasant part of it, will be the sort of afternoon / evening of the 12th. After that I don't have to worry, because it'll be both night time and then the morning will come along and it'll be cooler around the front, so that'll be good. Would kill my spine? Yeah, it probably would. But this chair I'm in at the moment isn't the best chair in the world. There's a 20 quid chair from Asda, which I thought would be ideal, but no. Bits of it don't work. It's the worst chair I've ever bought in my life. It's the cheapest and the worst. I've definitely got what I paid for. The base, the seat, isn't particularly strong, so when you sit in it, it bows in the middle. It bows enough in the middle to press the little handle down that presses the button that puts the air, that presses the button on the piston that lowers it and raises it. So as soon as you sit on it, clunk, you're right on the bottom, and when you try and lift it back up again and then sit down again, hiss thunk, you end up right in the bottom again. So I'm currently on a chair that is at the lowest rate, the lowest range. I feel like a baby looking up at a seat, looking up at a desk. So it's not the comfiest. The cushioning on the actual chair itself isn't particularly great. I have a cushion I got from IKEA to put on it, which makes it at least sufferable. So it's not exactly something I'm looking forward to spending 24 hours on come September. Yeah, insignificant cut. That's a great idea, an awesome idea, with only one drawback. Sorry, with only two significant drawbacks. One, I don't have enough money to buy a decent chair, and two, I don't have enough money to buy a decent chair. Now I know technically that's the same thing twice, but I thought it was worth mentioning twice. Black out the quote. I am contemplating looking at getting a new chair at some point between now and September. It's payday on Friday, so I'm going to see the end of the month and see how much spare cash I have left, and I might look at getting myself a decent chair. The base is a new base that I bought separately, and it's a nice base and it works quite well, because the original base of the chair actually snapped. Because, well, not to put too fine a point in it, the chair I bought was rated for 16.5 stone, and I'm 20 stone, or 19.5 now because I've lost some weight. So it's not the best chair in the world, and it's probably not the one I should have got, to be honest with you. But I had to get something to make do while my other chair actually literally was falling to bits. make my own chair. That's an even better idea. Yes, that's the next thing on the list actually. What I was contemplating doing was just getting a chair back. Getting rid of the whole upper part of the chair and putting a new top onto the base that exists, but then I have to make sure that I've got the right, a chair that has the holes in the right place to take the base that I've got. I don't know, I'm not entirely sure how to do that. Take measurements and see if they actually list where the holes are, or make a template and take it to the shops. That would drill new holes, but then the holes need to have a metal rim round them so that they can hold the screws in properly. So it's just all just nonsense really. Okay, I'll map that, there's not a lot there. Also not going to do the rocks. What the distance is like. Unexplored, the other last one is 11,000. Yeah, that's not bad. Alright, we'll make this one the last one then. And I'll take note of where I'm actually headed to. I did contemplate actually having a look at building a chair that's got proper sofa cushions on it. Like actually make something from scratch with sofa cushions on the bottom and sofa cushions on the back, so it's actually soft enough to sit in for an extended amount of time, which is going to be quite important come the time when it's through that stream. So I think even just an ordinary office chair is going to be a nightmare to sit in for anything longer than a couple of hours. You know, I'm going to schedule breaks in and stuff like that, but still. Could do with something a bit more. I know we've got a shop nearby that my wife has bought foam cushions from before, so I may look at actually doing that. So. You have no ass vice. Is that a deliberate pun there, Zach, is it? Sitting on a kitchen chair. I couldn't do that. See, that's one of the things about being as big as I am, is just you need something that's comfy, or else the actual weight of yourself pushes down so much. Yeah, it's like you're sitting on a brick no matter what you're sitting on. But it would be extremely nice to just have, you know, I might actually look at how possible it is to do that. Because it is part of it, I think it is possible to just take the metal reinforcement, like actually rip this chair apart. Rip this chair apart, grab the metal screw holes, bolt holes, and actually hammer them into the bottom of a new chair and actually make it from what would be a good idea? Thick MDF, some MDF on some cushions.
Communications.
The cushions, you stupid bugger. I just wonder if that might actually work out a lot cheaper than buying a chair. I've been looking at a few gaming chairs, but again we're looking at the fact that everything is expensive to buy if you're the way I am. And even spending the money, even like sort of 80-90 quid chairs, everything I've seen is rated for 16 stone. Nothing is rated for fat bastards like me. See, there's not there's no glue strong enough to actually hold the piston, the pneumatic piston. There's no glue strong enough to hold it in place. What I've actually done, or what I tried to do to try and resolve the problem I was having with it, was I put a ring around, but it was actually a sellotape thing, and it must have caused a vacuum pocket, because when I sat down on it, I think the pressure of the air must have pushed the button down, because it still just went straight to the bottom again. I actually even cut the button off so that it sat flush, or so it sat under flush to the actual pin. Well, that was what I said a little while ago in Significant Cat, was a beanbag chair would be an awesome idea for the stream. But again, it's not something I would want to sit in too long, because I would either fall asleep or end up buggering my back up. And watching a fat guy get out of a beanbag chair is probably something that I don't want to be putting on the internet, because obviously well, not obviously, but the plan I have is for doing this. The plan for doing this is that I'll have some kind of video camera pointing at myself while I'm doing the stream, so that people can see I'm actually there and I'm not just phoning it in from downstairs on the sofa. And yes, pointing it at me with me trying to get off beanbag chair isn't the kind of comedy that I'm going for. But with epoxy cement, yeah, I suppose I could. Yeah, it's probably worth it. I don't want it to move at all. I want it. The thing. Oh, I don't know what I want to do. I want it to be able to move it up and down. Because having the ability to move the chair up and down is quite useful, depending on what I'm actually doing at the computer. Yeah, that's everything, because it's all just rocks now, isn't it? So, you know what, I'm going to do one more because that was quite quick. One option might actually be to maybe put beanbag filling or a beanbag as a cushion. Not entirely sure how that would work or whether it would work. Engage hyperdrive. Engage jump drive.
Engaging jump drive.
I'll think of options. I mean, I think the foam idea is probably the best one because it's friendlier, because the foam's softer than the beanbag filling would be. Because within the confines of a chair, the beanbag would obviously then be as solid as anything else. But at least the foam would have a bit of give in it. So. Yeah, it's a bit late for that. I was kind of just out of the 3-month warranty when it failed. And it didn't have the original packaging, so we're now having packaging. No way I could return it. Didn't have a receipt either. Although I did keep it, I just don't know where it is. Yes, insignificant cat, it is indeed Brian Blessed, or as we call him, Vasco. Well, that's all been found by someone else anyway, so I ain't gonna bother. Next. Engage jump drive.
Charging frame shift drive.
Once I finish the stream tonight, I'm going to do a little bit more work, hopefully, on the RPG. But what I'm definitely going to do is get the computer set up so that I'm ready to do more work on the RPG. Gordon is indeed alive! Not only that, but Braben's alive! A lot of stuff here. It's all ice walls though. That's what we've got there. It's worth an explore because it'll get my name put on it. Arixac, don't ask me that. Just don't ask me that. I can't put a percentage on it. Keep telling people this. We're having such fun, you have to spoil it all. No, seriously, I can't honestly put a percentage on it, and this is what I keep telling people who ask on the Kickstarter comments as well, is that the RPG is going well, it's progressing. Progress gets made every day, something is done every day, pretty much. Or every day that I'm working on it. We're looking at a bit of a 50-50 split in the week now between days I'm working on it and days I'm not working on it. Because I have other commitments and other things have come up between various different things. So I don't get to work on it every day. I'll work on it pretty much 2, maybe 3 nights a week. And get a varying amount of things done. Last week I got a fair bit done graphics wise. Didn't get anything done writing wise because of various different things that kicked off. But I got a lot of graphic stuff done, so I managed to process some of the graphic screenshots that I took when I was doing screenshots of the ships, and I managed to get a fair bit of work done on the information cards for the narrative vehicle encounter rules, which was all in the update. If you watch the last stream I did before this one was the Elite Encounters update, which was done at 8 o'clock, or whatever time it would be for you. 10 o'clock is it for you, did you say? No, I was fine, and I put the joystick the wrong way, and now I've got to loop of shame again. Bastard. Didn't want to do that. That was fun. Gave myself a bit of a heart attack there. Boost.
Afterburners maxing engines.
Boost.
Afterburners engaged.
Boost.
Afterburners.
Boost.
Afterburners.
Boost.
Afterburners engaged.
Engage Super Cruise.
Preparing for cruise.
4, 3, 2, 1, engage.
What happened there, Insignificant Cat, was me face planting a planet because I'm a twat. I was going to do a loop of shame. I couldn't work out which side of the planet I wanted to go round, and ended up hitting it straight dead on. At all. It's me just eager to do the planetary landings bit. I was actually very lucky there, because I may have actually, the pressure of that may have cracked my canopy. It's not often I've done it. In fact, it's the first time I've actually managed to do that as well as that. Normally I manage to loop of shame round properly, but I got a little tongue-tied with my navigation there. Couldn't work out which way to go. Decided to go both ways and just changed direction just at the wrong time. So easy done. Yeah, what was I saying before that anyway? Ooh, my first spam. Wow.
7-inch nails of accusations, stabbed negligence that ripped with the
And that, my friends, is why I use Nightbot.
poisons, insecurities, mutilated with demoralization, drowned with lies. Cause of death unknown.
Must try that sometime. Yeah, feel free. When I crack your canopy like an egg, you feel free. I know that Mad Dog did it once, and this is what I mean, I was quite lucky there, because Mad Dog did that once, and he actually cracked his canopy. He's exploring the galaxy on his way to Sagittarius A, and he has cracks in his canopy glass. And he was saying, I think yesterday, that he thinks the cracks might be getting bigger. But no, it's not recommended, don't try it. Feel the solar wind in your face. Explore the planet. Explore planets without any planetary landing. I do wonder actually, you know, when they start doing the atmospheric updates, if they're going to actually use anything for aerodynamics. Because if they're using like a proper physics engine, then again, look. If they're going to use like a proper physics engine, then will aerodynamics take a part? They were saying that the handling of your ships will be slightly different when you're in the gravity well of a planet, i.e. when you're in its atmosphere, or in the vicinity of its surface, basically. So when it comes to the atmospheric planets, are they going to actually have atmospheric handling? Because one of the theories that I've hypothesized, I'm not saying anybody else has hypothesized it because I don't think they have, but I may be wrong, so as far as I'm concerned, it would be a matter of changing your shield dynamics. Because if you change your shield configuration to be aerodynamic, like you essentially create a big aerofoil, or something like that, and then that might work. Alternatively, there are quite a lot of ships that have foils on them, or at least winglets type stuff. The Adder and the Hauler are essentially what looks like something that could do planetary landing. They have wings. Adder has a wing folding system, as often stated originally. But those wings aren't particularly aerodynamic. They don't have the aerofoil shape, so they're not atmospherically sound. God knows why they're there. Nobody knows. Yeah, that's it. You have to drop like a brick in any other orientation. How are they going to manage that? Are they going to use thrusters to literally control the ship? Or you plummet like a stone into the atmosphere until you hit like 100 metres off the ground or something. Then your thrusters will start to work properly and start to bounce you off the ground again. It just sounds a bit dangerous to me. So I don't know whether they're going to do any modifications to the physics engine, or whether they're going to do something with the actual shield modulation or shield shapes, or whether they're going to introduce add-ons to the ships where you can fit aerofoils onto it, basically. I don't know. It's all open, all up in the air, all future stuff that they haven't probably worked out themselves yet. So that's the other thing. I mean, there's the other aspect of it, that you've also then got a kind of inbuilt flight sim. You look at Flight Sim 2015, sorry, Flight Sim 10 or X-Plane or all the other stuff. You know, they have quite a lot of input into how to create. They have quite a lot of texturing that is involved in actually rendering a planet, or rendering our planet to any degree of accuracy with cities and stuff on it, and they never really got the hang of doing it. I've done it again! Holy monkey crap. Probably had a strong tendency to fly horizontal. I'd lift to +Z depending on speed and atmospheric density. Sounds about right. Just to see what they actually end up doing with it. How far into it they're going to go, how far into the simulation they're going to go. I said before about rendering things like traffic and so on. I mean, are they going to... are they going to do sea traffic and air traffic and land traffic? Are they going to do railways? Are they going to do maglevs? Are they going to do stuff like that? How much detail are they going to put into this planetary simulation if they go that far? Or will it come piecemeal, or will it come all in one go? Oh. I just love the idea of exploration. I mean, I like the exploration that we've got now. It's okay. I think it has its significant problems. Because ultimately it's a little buggy, and it's kind of simulation breaking in some aspects, because you can scan other planets. So you can scan planets through other planets, or you can scan planets through suns. So I think that kind of breaks the simulation slightly. It breaks the immersiveness to a certain extent anyway. Are you off, Arix? That's shocking. Well, thank you for your conversation tonight. It's been awesome chatting to you. I hope you've enjoyed the stream, and I hope you'll pop back. Remember to set your alarm for next week. And I'll see you soon. We have Insignificant Cat in chat, and we have Compass Holland 90, who's a spammer, who I would actually kick out of the chat by moderating it, but I don't have an actual chat window I can do that with. All I have is my chatty window, which doesn't let me do any of that, I don't think. Actually, let me try. Let me see what this will do. Nope, doesn't let me do that. Excuse me a second, the screen's going to go a bit haywire, so I'm going to bend down and get a bottle of juice out of my bag. Ow. Lemonade! Oh, where's that going? Come back! Okay, now it's the long haul. Commander Ripped is now hosting me. Wow! Thank you, Commander Ripped, if you're actually streaming at the moment. Or you're listening at the moment. Thank you! I apologise for the drinking noises if they're audible. Anybody out there fancy watching the trailer for Horizons again? Boogie. Oh, I've just realised what this reminds me of. Set in a cockpit like this that's actually rendered as well as this reminds me of Mech Warrior. Or, was it Mech Warrior? Yeah, Mech Warrior. Mech Warrior 2 was a game I played ages and ages ago where you were in the cockpit of your little mech, or your quite big mech really, wasn't it? And it looked quite like this. God, it's ages since I played a Mech Warrior. I used to love Mech Warrior. One of the few online games, well, it wasn't online as such, it was a multiplayer game because it was network, we went over a network with it, and I used to play it with my housemate, and that was loads and loads of fun. It's the only real fun I've really had playing an online game. So I'm not a big fan of multiplayer games, never have been. Elite, you'll notice I'll play it in a private group because I don't want to play it in open play because I don't like people. I don't like being interdicted by players for no apparent reason, just because they feel that being shit. One of the things, I mean, I don't play this very often. Up until I started doing these regular Monday night streams, I only really played games maybe once a month. I hadn't played Elite at that point. Before I started doing the gaming stream, I only really actually played Elite 3-4 times maybe, from the start of the year. Kind of took myself out of it to do the RPG because I thought in my infinite wisdom that staying out of the community would help me concentrate and focus on what the game was about. But it didn't, it did the opposite. Gradually I started to drift away from the community and forgot what it was like to be in the Elite universe. Which wasn't much use when you're trying to write a game about it. Numpty. But as I've said before in streams and in various other places, if you're watching this, whether it's people that are watching it now on live stream or whether it's people watching the video back on YouTube later on, if you want to join me in game, then you're more than welcome to. I usually play most Wednesday, well, every Wednesday. Shut up, David. I play every Monday night from 8 o'clock until about 10. Well, usually about 8:15 after I've finished doing the encounters update. And now and again I will play other times as well. It's not usually a regularly scheduled thing. If I hit a bit of writer's block or I do a fair bit of work and then I want to reward myself for doing a fair bit of work, because I'm like Pavlov's dog that way, then I'll pop on and have a couple of hours maybe. But I'll be in my private group, which is called Selezen Lake. So if you want to join me in game, then by all means apply to join my group, and I'll quite happily add you in there. And if you're about, we can ring up or head out together, or even just chat. You know. And also, if you fancy having an online live chat, actually having a talk through the game as we play on the Monday night, or as I play on the Monday night, and you play whatever you want to play on the Monday night, or do whatever you want to do, then by all means send me a request on Skype, or email me and let me know you want to do that, and I'll add you on Skype or something similar, and we can have a live chat as the stream goes on, rather than just chatting through the chat window. Up to you. It'd be awesome to have people actually live on and have a sort of live talk and chat about the game and so on. Great. Where exactly am I? Well, let me slow down to a reasonable speed, pop the galactic map on and I'll show you where I am. I'm near the Horsehead Nebula, yeah. Galactic map. Open galactic map. Just press M, Dave, for fuck's sake. Yes, I'm just coming into the Horsehead Dark region shortly, so I'll show you that that's the nebula there, Horsehead Nebula there. Civilized space is up there, so I'm kind of there. So I'm just outside Barnard's Loop, just underneath it. Like so. Close galactic map. Close galactic map. Vasco's gone to sleep. Close galactic map. Close map. Okay, Vasco has broken. still think the graphics in this game are absolutely glorious. The detail is just astounding. Just pay attention. Loop of shame! One thing I did enjoy during the trip between civilized space and the nebula was how everything on the nebula itself and all the things around it got bigger on the screen the closer you got to it. Closer I got to it, sorry. I just think that's one of those nice touches that I've not seen in any other game. So I don't think another game's got the scope of this and has not tried to really sort of accurately represent the stellar objects in the galaxy. And this does such a fantastic job. Changes all your reference points. Gives you that feeling of immersiveness. And again, it's all about the immersiveness for me. But just having that immersion of being able to see your destination grow on the screen in front of you. I just think it just adds that something just other games haven't had. It expands that whole planet getting bigger on the screen in front of you as you go towards it in Elite. And you still have that element of control over how you get there and how fast you can get there, because I can push it to the limits of the speedo in the game, and then as it's starting to get down towards 7 or 6 seconds, pull it back into the acceptable zone and still make a slightly quicker trip than would otherwise happen. Whereas in Frontier, it kind of lost that because you had that whole having to work it out for yourself stellar speed thing that if once you've done your happy just start slowing down again. So you had to have an autopilot or spend hours faffing around with speed calculations or trying to work it out for yourself or slingshotting back and forth between it. Which just spoiled the game really, but this has a nice balance between the way that Elite did things with the control over your speed and your relative velocity towards the target, and the sort of simulation of Newtonian physics and realistic way of doing things, and the fact that you can turn your flight assist off to turn all that stuff off and actually do it by dead reckoning if you wanted to, just gives it that extra depth. And I do enjoy it. I think I do like it at this point. I am enjoying the exploring side of things. Okay, it's all very samey. Once you've seen one star on a bunch of ice planets, then you've seen every star on a bunch of ice planets that you can think of. There's always that hope that at some point during your trip you're going to find an Earth-like or a water world or something else. I can dream. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it is a very, very good balance. I've done it very well. The flight assist off idea was genius, to be honest with you. And one of the things when I was doing sort of my own elite fiction, or fan fiction you'd probably call it, back in the day, was that I did try and justify in my head what the technology was and how the technology worked and how the Newtonian physics question was got round in elite. And it was all about, at that point, I even came up with the thought of a sophisticated computer system that did all the hard work for you. And Frontier's obviously gone down the same line of thought with that, which is reassuring to know. Kind of good to know that we can have thoughts in the same kind of scope. Loop of shame. Yeah, flight assist off, as I say, was a genius idea. Just turn off all that faffing around and actually just give you the pure control of your ship again. People like that. It's nice now and again, it's useful sometimes. I don't think I can fly that all the time because, as I say, the Frontier realistic flight model just doesn't appeal to me. I don't think it's a game, that's a very much a simulation thing. But, you know, that's how people want to play it. That's how a lot of people want to play it, and did actually strike a very, very good balance with it. So yes, completely agree. I think this is the last pair of things to look at before we call it a night. What's that, 9,000 light seconds? And it's got its own little satellite, and then yep, that's it, that'll be that after that. What? I've no idea. I think Nightbot's just had some kind of fit. I can't see the content of your last message, so. I can still see him, I've still got him, it's okay. You should still get him on the screen. On the actual stream screen. What was the last thing you posted? You've got to be careful with it, because sometimes it'll take... If you put a dot and then not a space, that you try and put a full stop in between sentences and then don't put a space after it, it might actually think it's a link. Sometimes you put slashes in, it'll do the same thing, and sometimes if you put com, like com, instead of com, or something like that, it just gets a bit confused sometimes. So just repost what you posted again. Repost your last post, but make sure there's like nothing that can be construed as being like a link. Of course, by the year 3301. That's weird. Hang on, let me do something. Right, repost your message again. Right, I've unbanned you now. Obviously it banned you for posting links twice, so I've unbanned you and I've given you permission, so you should be able to post a link now without getting bollocked. Sorry about that. I don't know what the hell Nightbot's playing at. Nah, I don't think I want to do the rest of that tonight. I think I'm going to call it a night there, mate. Thanks to everybody for watching so far. Thank you this evening to Insignificant Cat for dropping by and hanging around, even when these other streamers who actually came on to watch probably came on. Most appreciated. Those of you watching on YouTube, thank you for your watch. If you like what you're watching, please like the video and leave a comment if you want. And pop onto my Twitch channel and follow me on there for live broadcasts for the future. Thank you again. Start closing things down now. Yeah, take care. So if I don't see you before, I shall see you next Monday, 8 o'clock for the Elite Encounters update and 8:15 approximately for the regular stream. Take care everyone and good night.